Welcome back. Today we're gonna, man, that was embarrassing. Today we're gonna talk about how to deal with the fear of embarrassment. Well, that really was embarrassing. Or was it? Maybe it was just fun. So today we're talking about how to deal with or overcome the fear of embarrassment. So as you know, this YouTube channel is all about principle-based living. And it's about identifying the principles or the truths that govern this world in which we live. Today we're going to talk about embarrassment. And oftentimes the solution to the problems or the challenges that we face really comes down to us better clarifying or identifying what the problem really is. So let's talk about embarrassment and fear of embarrassment. So what is embarrassment? Where does it come from? What really is it? Does it even exist? So most of the time, in fact, 90% of the time, we're operating on autopilot, which means the subconscious part of our brain is driving our behavior, our patterns of thoughts. It's the things that we have learned and been conditioned to do throughout our life. And most of the time, we don't even question those beliefs that are driving our behavior. But many of the beliefs that we have created are not true. They're based on false beliefs that either exist in society or that we have created ourselves or that others have taught us. So this belief, this fear of embarrassment, what is embarrassment even based on? So think about that. Typically embarrassment is or has to do with what we think others think about us and us trying to live up to and meet others' expectations, or it's a belief that we have about ourselves which still is connected to or based on our belief of what others believe about us. Embarrassment usually comes from situations in which we do things that do not meet up with other people's expectations, or we do things that other people think is silly or stupid or funny or whatever it might be. And we believe that what they think is true and correct, or we're afraid that what another individual thinks about us has something to do with who we really are. So let's just examine those things for a minute. Does what another person thinks about me really have anything to do with me? Or does it have more to do with the person doing the thinking? So if another person thinks that I'm silly, does that mean that I'm silly? If another person thinks that I'm awkward or clumsy, does that mean that I'm awkward or clumsy? Or is it just telling us something about the other person that's doing the thinking? So how much control do I have over another person? Zero control. So again, if I'm worried about what other people think about me, I have no control over that. The other thing is, do I truly even know what another person is thinking? So I may make all kinds of assumptions that I do something, like in the introduction when I fell over on my chair. Typically when we do things like that, we look around to see who's observing us or who just saw what happened, because we're then worried about what they're thinking. The truth is, we'll never know what they're thinking. Maybe they're thinking things like, man, I'm glad that wasn't me. Or they may be thinking things like, wow, he handled that really well. The truth is, I'll never know for sure what another person is thinking. It really comes down to what am I thinking. So the core, I believe, connected to embarrassment has to do with we have a belief that we should be perfect. We have a belief that we should not ever make mistakes. Well, how accurate or true is that belief? We know that that is a false belief because none of us are perfect. In fact, if we were perfect, we probably wouldn't even be here, on this earth. The main reason that we are here is to learn and to grow and to improve. And the way that we do that is through trial and error. Everything that we learn in this life, in the beginning when we do it, we don't do it very well. And we continue to practice and do it and refine what we do until we become better and better at doing it. But there are things that happen all of the time that are outside of our control. And we have this belief that we have to appear a certain way, that we have to be perfect all of the time in order for us to be okay and to be accepted by other people. That is just a false belief. Another thing that happens is we live in a society that puts so much emphasis on image and how we appear, what we look like and what we do. And so much of what we see on social media and in movies and television and on the news, all of that presents people to be a certain way. And even in social media and the news, we are conditioned because oftentimes what is pointed out are the mistakes or the funny or the embarrassing things that other people do, which reinforces that subconscious belief that we have that we should be perfect, that we shouldn't make mistakes. So the solution to overcoming or dealing with the fear of embarrassment is recognizing the truth, which is that none of us are perfect, that all of us make mistakes. We all do things that maybe are not exactly what we would want. We do things sometimes like falling over on our chair, stumbling or tripping, dropping things, saying things incorrectly, so the wrong words come out of our mouth, stuttering, forgetting things, all kinds of things that we do in life that we attach embarrassment to that. And anytime we feel embarrassed, we have a tendency then to play small, to shrink, because we don't want to be seen. That keeps us from becoming the best that we can be. So my challenge for me and for all of us is to become aware, to get off of autopilot, to pay attention to when we're feeling that emotion of embarrassment. But instead of just reacting and being on autopilot, recognize the truth of that whatever that situation or event is, that we don't have to feel embarrassed. We can look at it for what it really is, that it's part of the human experience. It's part of living. And that all of those experiences that we have give us the opportunity to learn more about ourselves, to learn more about others, to make improvements in who we are and what we do, and become more and more the person that we can be to achieve our full potential and live an amazing, happy, healthy life. Thanks for watching today. Subscribe to our channel below, ring the bell so that you can get notifications of new videos, and visit our websites, Principle Based Living. You'll see it listed below.